Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Tuesday, November 24th, 2020. I'm your host, Dr. Pamela Gay, and I am here to put science in your brain. As many of you know, this is a holiday week here in the United States. Thursday is Thanksgiving, and Friday is, well, it's not really a holiday, it's Black Friday, which means either shopping or hiding from shopping for many of us. For CosmoQuest, these days are going to be used for sleeping, playing games with friends, and decorating random real and virtual worlds for the upcoming holidays. There will be no daily space on either of these days, and we hope that you and yours are finding the best possible ways to stay physically apart but socially together. Early in the pandemic, people were joking that they'd use the time they were at home to learn new hobbies, develop new skills, and otherwise improve themselves. I have to admit, I'm one of the many who invested in Rosetta Stone and said, this year I'm going to try and master a foreign language. While I will admit my Russian is just as grammatically incorrect as it was at the beginning of the year, there are a lot of folks out there who did actually find the energy to do some pretty amazing things. One of these people is the artist Judy Schmidt, who used her 2020 to be part of an awesome study of the galaxy IC 5063. Back in December 2019, Schmidt, who goes by @SpaceGek on Twitter, posted a newly processed version of Hubble's image of IC 5063, commenting, "Look at this new pic of IC 5063 from Barth's Pop 15444. Trying to figure out if I can make a color image. Maybe not. But are those cones I'm straining to see? I wonder." Over a series of tweets, this scientifically knowledgeable artist, who had just set out to make something pretty, described how astronomers have often seen beams of light emerging from dust disks, but had never seen the cones of shadow that theoretically should occur. Professional scientists jumped into the thread, with William Keel pointing out that people have looked for corpuscular rays from active galactic nuclei as detailed confirmation of how ionization effects occur. This is a fun thread that we'll link to in the show notes for this episode, and it includes the humorous quip from Schmidt that astronomers need look no further. Random image processor woman has posted corpuscular rays on Twitter. Good game, astronomers. Good game. And she actually made some really good arguments as she traced out where she seemed to be seeing those cones of shadow. This work is a reminder that the real difference between being a scientist and a non-scientist is just reporting your work. Any of us could go out and quietly discover a new feature in our images or a new comet in our skies. But if we don't share our work and find people to help us understand it, we aren't really scientists. The only difference between Judy and I is I paid for 10 years of college to get extra letters trailing behind my name. We both co-authored one paper this year, and we both explained science on Twitter. Folks, be Judy. This new paper details how it has long been theorized that light passing through a cloudy region, such as sunlight through the sky or light through an AGN, can be interrupted by clouds of material that cause the light to shine through in beams or to delineate shadow cones. This probably isn't a rare occurrence, but it is one that is subtle and hard to see. And it took the skills of an artist trained to enhance details to tease out what was already in the data archives. And they did amazing work doing follow-up observations to confirm what is being seen. And all of this work is published in a new paper that has lead author. So sorry, I missed a section. This work is published in a new article in Astronomical Journal that includes Judy Schmidt and William Keel from Twitter as the second and third authors, working in collaboration with first author Peter Markson. Now, according to Markson, I'm most excited by the shadow of the torus idea because it's a really cool effect that I don't think we've seen before in images, although it has been hypothesized. Scientifically, it's showing us something that is hard, usually impossible to see directly. We know this phenomena should happen, but in this case, we can see the effects throughout the galaxy. Knowing more about the geometry of the torus will have implications for everybody trying to understand the behavior of supermassive black holes and their environments. As a galaxy evolves, it is shaped by its central black hole. To go from detection to publication in less than a year is remarkable for any scientist. And my hat is off to this team that was brought together by Twitter and got the results through peer review in such a beautiful fashion. I regret that I wasn't already following Schmidt, aka Space Gek, before. But that mistake has been rectified, and I look forward to seeing what new details she finds to enhance in our universe. Now, a remarkable amount of astronomy can be summed up as we looked in that direction, the direction we'd looked in a million times, but we used this new thing, this new instrument, technique, spacecraft, and we discovered that something old and familiar is very different from what we thought. Last week, we brought you a story on how studies of globular clusters had shown how our Milky Way has been built up through merger after merger with other galaxies. We also showed how a population of very metal-poor stars in our galaxy's disk indicated that our entire system had been affected by these mergers. Well, as often seems to happen in both astronomy and the announcements of new TV seasons, we have another story with essentially the same plotline. The apogee spectrograph, which the Sloan Digital Sky Survey used to measure the metallicities or the atomic content of more than 500,000 stars in our galaxy, it is determined there is a blob of stars down in the heart of our galaxy that are all made of roughly the same material and have related orbits. This seems to indicate that these stars come from a single massive population that crashed into our system. And when I say massive, I mean this population makes up fully 1/3 of the stars in our galaxy's spherical halo. This work is described in a new paper in Monthly Notices of the Royal Astronomical Society with lead author Danny Horta. According to team member Ricardo Chavan, to find fossil galaxies like this, we had to look at the detailed chemical makeup and motions of tens of thousands of stars. That is especially hard to do for stars in the center of the Milky Way because they are hidden from view by clouds of interstellar dust. Apogee let us pierce through that dust and see deeper into the heart of the Milky Way than ever before. As we develop more and more telescopes working in these longer dust-penetrating wavelengths, and as our data on stellar motions improves, we're probably going to discover more and more of these chemically and kinematically linked star populations. This will essentially allow us to unmix our galaxy's stars and see just what we're made of. And I can't wait to learn more about our system's remarkable mixing pot history. Galaxies change at every possible timescale, from a billion years long slow merger of massive systems to the minute-to-minute flickers of active galactic nuclei. They are always changing in a myriad of different ways. In a startling, to me, story from radio astronomy, the new VLAS catalog of radio galaxies is allowing astronomers to see galactic jets turning on. The VLAS stands for VLA Sky Survey, and it is working to map 80% of the sky. This kind of a survey was done at a smaller scale 20 some odd years ago by the VLA FIRST, or Faint Images of the Radio Sky at 20 centimeters survey. The similarities in data quality of these two surveys and their separation in time means astronomers can search through the data for objects that have changed in those 20 years. And remarkably, it turns out that roughly 2,000 galaxies appear in VLAS that have changed since FIRST. Initial follow-up observations of 14 of these objects found that these systems were AGNs, active galactic nuclei, lighting up and sending out new jets of material. According to Christiana Nyland, the lead author of this new study, which appears in the Astrophysical Journal, jets like these can strongly affect the growth and evolution of their galaxies. But we still don't understand all of the details. Catching newborn jets with the surveys like VLAS provides a measure of the role of powerful radio jets in shaping the lives of these galaxies over billions of years. People often talk about how the universe doesn't do things on timescales humans can see. But it turns out that sometimes we can get lucky and catch the start or finish of these civilization-spanning activities. All right, now I'm going to completely shift topics. As giving season approaches for so many different traditions, both old and manufactured traditions, to be fair, I suspect many of you are eyeing telescopes and cameras as possible purchases. I have to admit, if you don't already have a digital single lens, a DSLR camera, I have to admit, if you don't have a DSLR camera that you can use for basic sky or astrophotography, there is an event coming up in December that may justify such a purpose. On December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn will get together on the sky and hang out just a couple of arc minutes apart. This means that even through most telescopes, both worlds will appear in a single field of view. I, for one, am going to dust off my telescope and see what I can do to get the cranky Drive software to like me again in preparation to go out and look at this cool combination of worlds. We've got less than a month to practice, people. But we can do this. We can prepare ourselves for the astrophotograph, not just of a lifetime, but of nearly a millennium. This kind of alignment last occurred in 1226. If you're looking to purchase equipment, we'd like to also let you know that we have a relationship with Oceanside Photo and Telescope, and your purchase can benefit CosmoQuest if you go through our affiliate link. You can learn more at our website, dailyspace.org. All right, so one last thing before I end this episode. We are a not-for-profit project. And today, according to the weird annual calendar that has become Thanksgiving week, today is Giving Tuesday. This is the day where nonprofits, large and small, near and far, are all saying, hey, we're here. And before you go spending all of your money on gifts, can you consider helping just a little? Maybe, please. If you're up for it, we're here for you. And we know you're there for us. And let's work together, maybe. We hate asking for money. This is not what I signed up for when I got a PhD in astronomy. But it turns out that science isn't supported the way we might like. And the way we fund science today is by writing grants that have between an 8 and 20% chance of getting funded and take weeks out of our life of unpaid labor to write, and by asking the good people on the internet to support us. So if you have something to give, please consider us as something that could use your help. Okay, today's episode was written by me, Dr. Pamela Gay. Engineering is provided by Ali Pelfrey, and web content will be produced by Beth Johnson. You can get a complete transcript, show notes, and see images related to each of our stories at our website, dailyspace.org. We are a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit, which means your donations are tax deductible or allowed by law. We're a nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here thanks to the generous contributions of people like you. To learn more and donate, please visit our website, CosmoQuest.org. Thanks.